Discipline isn't about control, it's about systems. To create systems that build and sustain true discipline, you need to focus on four different aspects. Dopamine creates pursuit, habit loops control behavior, environments control triggers, systems control sustainability. You cannot focus on only one. That's the reason you fail. Not because you're weak, but because you haven't built systems that focus on these four things. Let's dive deeper. Let's begin with dopamine. Dopamine doesn't create pleasure, it creates pursuit. Your mood, focus, and motivation depends on how stimulated your dopamine is. If it's overstimulated, you'll seek it without any contempt. If it's starved, you'll feel numb and lifeless. The goal isn't to kill dopamine, it's to find the right balance. And to find the right balance, we need to understand how dopamine works. Dopamine operates in a loop: cue, trigger, or craving, response, reward, drop. Every cheap pleasure comes with a crash. The more artificial the pleasure, the lower the drop. Dopamine always follows an equation. Pleasure equals baseline plus reward minus cost. Baseline, your neutral dopamine level. Reward, the pleasure you get from the action. The cost, after you have pursued the cheap pleasure, you feel horrible. It hurts. Deep down, you feel weak, powerless, ashamed, yet we still follow it. We have become addicted to these quick spikes: social media, pornography, junk food, caffeine overload, entertainment. Each of these things train the body to expect the reward without any real effort. When pleasure becomes cheap, purpose becomes expensive. Let's move to habit loops now. Every decision you take is a small loop running on your mind every single day. Your mind takes thousands of this daily, automatic, efficient, subconscious. You see, transformation isn't a one time thing, it's a loop repeated constantly until it becomes identity. Habit loop was first described by Charles Duhigg, expanded by James Clear. Every habit has four stages: cue, craving, response, reward. Cue, the thing, the environment, the people that bring the trigger, what you go into the craving. You don't want the act itself, you want the relief from the act. Response, you either take the action or replace it. Reward, the thing that you get from the loop. Let's move on to environments. Environments are the things that trigger the craving. You see, the mind doesn't care if an action or a habit saves you or kills you. It just remembers what's repeated constantly. That's why the brain seeks habits, because they run automatically without any real effort. When it does this, the brain burns less glucose. The brain doesn't need to force itself to take that action, but it learns it through repetition, through consistency. There are three types of environment triggers: physical environments, things, light, smell, layout; social environments, people, experiences, conversations, culture; digital environments, social media, notifications, algorithms. These things are either helping you or destroying you. Because if your environment doesn't align with your goals, with the person you want to become, you will fail every time. Doesn't matter how hard you try, if you have things constantly reminding you of who you currently are, change won't happen. It won't happen. That's where systems come in. They keep discipline consistently because motivation fades, feelings fade, systems stay faithfully. Those are the things that push you to move forward, whether you feel like it or not. When an action becomes a habit, you no longer need to tell the brain, you need to do this. It will do it regardless of how difficult it is at the beginning. Most of the time, it doesn't get easier. Let's take prayer, for example. I've been consistently praying for about 2, 3 years. I haven't, not that I remember, I believe I haven't missed a single day. Yet, till this day, I don't feel like praying, but I know I have to, and I do it at the same time almost every day. The brain recognizes that time, that hour, before bed, prayer. If I don't do it, if I try to skip it, I feel horrible with myself. But when you do it, you feel that you feel a kind of relief, and that's what systems do. Systems remove the decision. You do it because you have to, whether you feel like it or not. But before you build real sustainable systems, you must rebuild your dopamine, your habit loops, your environments. How do we do that? We need to understand how hormones play a big role when we're rebuilding these structures. You can't outdiscipline bad chemistry. If your hormones are imbalanced, your focus, your drive, your mood, your motivation will suffer. Hormones are the fuel that keep you driving while being focused on the road. There are three hormones that you must be constantly working towards it. Of course, there are many, but these are the ones that push discipline. First one, dopamine. The chemical pursuit controls motivation, focus, drive, retrains stillness and patience. Testosterone, the masculine engine, controls aggression, energy, responsibility, sex drive. Low testosterone means weak mind, weak body, everything. If you have low testosterone, everything in you will suffer. Testosterone for a man is the power that keeps the pursuit alive. 3. Cortisol, the stress balance. Cortisol isn't bad. It keeps you awake, it keeps you alert. The problem is chronic cortisol from lack of sleep, bad diets, stress. So, how do we reveal these three pillars? I have three tools for you. Number one, fasting. Fasting isn't just a spiritual weapon, it's a neurological reset. Here are three neurological benefits of fasting. Increases dopamine receptors sensitivity, which means increase in motivation, less craving. Increases growth hormone, repairs the body, repairs the mind. Increases autophagy, removes, cleanses damaged cells. Psychological benefits. Retrains the reward system for pleasure without stimulation, builds patience and stillness, heightens awareness and self control, spiritual benefits. In the gospel, we hear about Jesus going to the desert and fighting temptation for 40 days and 40 nights. We hear that at the end, he was hungry. He conquered temptation with hunger, not fullness. The reason? Because the body grows through fuel, the spirit grows through hunger. There are three different levels of fasting. Number one, 12 to 16 hours, beginners. Everyone should start here, must start here. That's how you slowly teach the body to have more control about food. This usually involves fasting for 12 to 16 hours and having an 8-hour period window of eating, no eating past the 8 hours. 2. 16 to 24 hours. This is a little bit more advanced, still safe to do, maybe once a week, once a month. Number 3, this one you have to be careful. Not everyone is capable of doing it. And if you're going to do it, do your research first. Be ready. Hydrate. Number 3 is multi-days fasting. Be careful on this one. It's one of the greatest fasting that you can do, but it can have really bad consequences on your body if you don't take good care before it. Whenever you finish a fasting, make sure you finish it with protein and fats. Avoid sugar, a lot of carbs because they increase insulin. Tool number 2. Caffeine blocks adenosine, the sleep molecule, which increases focus and alertness. However, when it's overused, it increases cortisol, affects sleep quality, decreases motivation, dopamine, neutral levels. The best way to go about it is wait 90 to 120 minutes after you wake up. Rest from caffeine 1 to 2 times weekly, even a couple months. Take a week off because caffeine it's a tool, not a crutch that you rely on it to walk. Number 3, cold exposure releases norepinephrine, which activates alertness and focus. However, there's more benefits than just this. Every time you choose discomfort on purpose, you're wiring fear. You become more resistant, stronger mentally. That's what cold exposure does. You don't have to start taking cold showers right away. Begin with 30 seconds after you have taken a hot shower. However, when you do this, be careful not to wet your head. At least take it slow. Don't go all the way in because some people can have bad effects if they do it too fast. For example, I began to notice when I was doing that, my head started to hurt. I started to get like random pain that came out of nowhere. And I believe it's because every time I was taking a cold shower after I had taken a hot one, I went right in. Everything soaked in. But however, I change it. Now I start with cold showers. Sometimes I end with a hot one. That's because I take my cold showers mostly at night. So in order to go back to that relaxed state after taking a cold shower, I go to hot shower because hot showers that's what I do. They relax you. They make you ready to go to sleep. So this is all I have to do. This is all I have for you today. Remember, discipline isn't about control. It's about systems. Because you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your structure. If your structure is weak, you fall with it.